been hungry? Yeah, I love being hungry. It's one of my favorite things. I like being hungry because it's an easy problem to solve. Yeah, just eat some food. You can eat any food you want too. You don't have to eat hamburgers. You can eat like candy, or you can even drink, and it'll fill you up like if you were hungry. You know? I gotta do this trick sometimes. I'll like pour some water into a bowl and like drink it with a spoon. Like, man, Campbell sure cut some quarters this morning. It fills me up. I also like being hungry because it tastes good, right? Solving that problem. And when you solve hungry, it tastes good. You know, there's not a lot of chores that you can do that taste good. You know, like if doing the dishes tasted like eating a sandwich, I'd cook a 3-course meal just to clean up. Save myself a teacup for a midnight snack. Anyway, next thing on here is to-do list. But I like to-do lists, as you can kind of see right here. But I like being hungry because I'll put it on my to-do list and I can just check it off, right? It's real easy. Yeah. So I'm gonna start checking some of these things off, make sure I got to them, all right? So I did apples, right? Check. James. Remember I did all that stuff about James? You guys remember that? I think I'll just give that big check. Yeah. I did the button stuff. I'll get to aardvark. I know some of you were worried when I started with apple. You're like, aardvark's at the top. Relatable, fire, aimless. We're all the way to to-do list. Good job, guys. One of the things I like about the to-do list, I'll put real easy things on, right? And you feel good checking it off. Like the other day, I put on wake up. Check that off. Smoke some weed. Check that off. Eat a pizza. Check it off. Masturbate. Check it out. Now, something I noticed about that combo. I don't know if you guys all noticed that, but makes you want to take a nap. Put that on the list too. Yeah, it's harder to check off. Anyway, back to being hungry. I watched this movie recently, Gandhi. Man, this guy was like the king of being hungry. You know, he like used it in ways that like I don't even really understand. You know, he like fight violence with hunger. Like someone come at him with like a karate chop, he would be like eating a carrot. Quick, put it down. Gandhi was well known for being the quickest fast in the Dutch East. You know, he would come to Gandhi with problems, you know, and he'd be like, you know, he'd just be waking up first thing in the morning, people come to him with problems, you know. He'd be like, Gandhi, we need help, you know, there's violence in New Delhi, you know, there's bombs going off in Bombay, you know. You don't even want to know about Hyderabad. It's not good. And he'd be like, cancel breakfast. Problem solved. It says crown on there, but I don't remember that part. I know it's significant in some way, but you just forget about it. Yeah. Oh, reading. You guys read? You ever read? Oh, phew, how relatable. Yeah, I've been reading a lot recently, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do read. First of all, you gotta know all these words. Yeah. tough. I was reading this book the other day. I kept having to look up all the words. You know, I'd have to go to the dictionary and keep looking up all the words. I was spending more time reading the dictionary than I was with the real book. You know? And so I was like, maybe I'll just ditch the book, read the dictionary. Then I'll be ready for any book. You know, it's got all the words in there. So I was reading the dictionary, but you know, they say that it's in alphabetical order, the dictionary. But really, you can't like read it in order, because there's words in the beginning that have like definitions using words from later in the book. I look up like the word A, and it's like a word, and I'm like, all right, on to W. Very circuitous. But speaking of the beginning of the dictionary, aardvark. I like the aardvark. I like the aardvark because 2 ways. Completely unnecessary, that second A. Yeah. It's not the aardvark. I imagine that the aardvark was waiting in line at Noah's Ark. You know? They're like, all right, we're loading up, aardvarks, get behind the anteaters. They're like, oh, wait a second. We spell ours with 2 ways. Oh, right to the front then. Aardvark's like, if I'm not on the cover, I'm on the first page. Get me in there. That's why I like aardvarks. That's really the only reason I like aardvarks. Now I can check that off. Oh, phew. I know you were so worried, people. Ding. 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 I'm all the way to the dictionary. Oh, the library? You guys ever been to the library? It's important when you're trying to read books, you know? So I was trying to read books, but it's hard because I don't know which books to read. You know, there's so many out there. I was like, oh man, I'll just read them all. You know, then it doesn't matter what order I read them in. Get to it eventually. But I went to the library. Oh, there's a lot of books. I was like, I'll just read them alphabetically, you know? But I don't know if you guys have been to the library. It doesn't work like that. They got their own system going on. Yeah, the Dewey Decimal System. Yeah, so instead of starting at A, I started at 000, which was computer science. Yeah, that sucks. Took me a long time reading all those computer science books. Then I finally got to 001. That was knowledge. Oh man, that was even tougher, you know? Because it contained all the books in the first section. So like this system is not very good. I need a new system. I need to pare it down a little bit. So I decided I would only read books that were the color red. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but I will judge a book by its cover. Yeah. So I judge books by their covers, and I like red books. So like the other day I read Where the Red Fern Grows. You know that one? No dogs. No Old Yeller for me. I like red books. Yeah. I went to the used bookstore. Got a lot of red books there. Huh? Yeah. Picked up a used copy of the Communist Manifesto. Yeah. That's a red book. It was red cover to cover. And both of the covers also red. And I read it. Yeah. I also picked up a copy of the Little Red Book. You guys know the Little Red Book? It's actually a bit of a misnomer. Little Red Book is actually very widely read. More than 1 billion copies, I can't say sold, but published. Little Red Book. I read this book, Red Sorghum by Mo Yan. You guys know this one? He won the Nobel Prize for Literature, 2016. Anyway, my advice to Mo Yan: how about less Yan? I want to tire myself out reading the Asian literature. Pick up the Pillow book. It's not actually made out of pillows. This is an old book. Anyway, I've been reading books a lot. I don't know if you guys have noticed this about me. I like reading books. You might have noticed it because I've been talking about it for the last however many minutes. I don't even know how long it's been. But I like reading books, but it's different than watching a movie. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. It seems like it'd be similar, you know, because some of them, they have the same name, you know? But one of the main differences I noticed is that when you watch a movie, they already cast the characters for you, you know? Like when I'm reading a book, I gotta do it myself. It's a lot of work. You know, I read the book and then I watch the movie, I'm like, guess I got that wrong. It was Brad Pitt all along. I thought it was my dad. That's how I read books. I cast my dad a lot. I feel I know his face really well. You know, it's easy to imagine, but it gets kind of uncomfortable sometimes. Like, I read that book Lolita. So then I recast Lolita as Betty White. All better. But like, it's kind of fun, you know. You get to cast your books yourself, you know. But sometimes the author, they don't give you very much to go on. You know, they'll be like, his hair was brown. And I'll be like, all right. Picture like a Lego guy with like the brown hair. And the blonde guy comes in, it's like a Lego guy with the blonde. Sometimes they don't, they just say Brian walked in. You gotta do it all yourself. So it's hard. Oh yeah, I read Plato's Republic. And I cast myself as Socrates, right? And then Glaucon, he was my ex-girlfriend. Oh, so satisfying to win all those arguments. Never win the arguments. Thanks, Socrates, for the help. One of the other things I like doing with books is you can change the characters' names. I read books on the Kindle, and what I do is sometimes I'll just like Control Left, find and replace. Because some people, they have hard names to remember. You know, like if I've never met someone with their name, it's hard. I have to like create a whole new category in my brain for this new thing, right? You know, if I read, you know, like Japanese literature, I don't have friends who have all these Asian names. You know, like I was reading this book, and the main character's name was Yoshi, right? I kept picturing Yoshi from Mario. So confusing, right? So then I like Control Left, find replace, swapped it with Mario. It's a little better. It's still silly, but it's a very serious book. I also I read that book Roots, you know, by Alex Haley. And I changed every instance of Kunta Kinte, you know, changed it back to Toby. Yeah. Very confusing. My heart was in the right place, I think. Probably enough about books by now, right? I might come back if I think of anything else, but I think it's time to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. It's actually kind of far away from my heart. It's the ground. You guys know the ground? It's dirty down there. The ground. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, the ground. It's dirty. It's where all the dirt is, really. You know, dirtiest place in the world, the ground. Yeah, that's why it's everywhere you go, you know, you just go down and you find dirt, pay dirt. That's why being a dirt farmer is like one of the easiest jobs there is. You know, you start digging. But I don't like the ground because it's dirty, right? Have you ever been to a place where they got dirt floors? You ever been to a place where they have dirt floors?
Yeah.
It's a little weird. You know, I always think like, how do they clean up? You know, every time you vacuum, you're just making the ceiling taller and taller. But I don't like the ground. I don't like the ground because it's dirty. You know, like I'll drop my food on the ground. You ever do that? What do you do the 5-second rule? 5-second rule if it's dirty? Not me. I do the 0-second rule. It's got ground on it. Yeah? But kids, when you're a kid, you don't care about the ground. Yeah? Because all this kid, he spilled his Fun Dip on the ground. Yeah. Licked it up. Yeah. Gross. Yucky. That's what his mom said. Yucky, that's yucky. We don't do that. Because really, the ground tastes bad. I think it's something we all know. No matter where you go, anywhere in the world you go, the ground tastes bad. Except for that one spot where there was all that Fun Dip. The sweetest ground there ever was. I don't like the ground because it hurts. You know, if you fall on the ground, yeah, it hurts. When you're a kid, for some reason it doesn't hurt as much. You know, I think maybe they have less far to go. But also, I was talking to this kid, he had this trick. He was like, oh no, I got this trick. Whenever you're about to fall, and you guys can take this with you, when you're about to fall, what you do is you flail your arm. Right? And then somehow you don't fall. I don't really know how it works, but it works. You know? It says something about centripetal motion, stabilizing effect. I'm not a physicist. I'm just a reader. But I don't fall very much anymore. You know, I'm not a kid. You know, like I can't even remember the last time I fell down. I'm not saying it wasn't recently. I just don't remember. But when I fall down to make the ground makes me mad. You know, sometimes like I'll stomp on the ground extra heavy. You know, the ground. I'll spit on the ground. Take that. Hurting me. And so like I was reading this story by Tagore, Rabindranath. He had this story about he was a germaphobe. This king, there was this king who was a germaphobe, and so he decided he wanted to carpet his whole palace so that he wouldn't have to touch the dirt underneath, right? You know, and then he wanted to carpet his whole kingdom. You know, it was incredibly extravagant doing that, right? So luckily, this king, he had a wise man, right? Which a lot of kings do. And the wise man invented the shoe. Oh, protect you from the ground. Pretty good. You know, but I take it a step further. I wear socks in my shoes, right? Protect me from the ground. It's like having sex with a girl you don't trust. 2 condoms. Shoes and socks protect me from the ground. It's dirty down there. What do I got? Oh, chairs. Chairs? You guys know chairs? All sitting in one right now. No one's sitting on the floor. And before the chair, you had to sit on the floor. Before that, you had to lie on the ground. Yeah? I'm thankful for that guy who invented the chair, you know? And sometimes I think about that guy, the guy who invented the chair. Oh man, I bet he was so happy. Take a load off. Those dogs are barking. A long time without sitting down. But I actually got a new chair recently. No applause. But you guys were right first. It's not really that big of a deal. Not like it was back in the old days. That'd be something to write home about. Back when they actually did write home about stuff. That guy'd be like, "Hey, dearest mom, got a new chair. Made it myself. Took me 2 whole weeks." You didn't have a lot of furniture back then. You got like a table and a chair, and now you got another chair. Maybe now you can get a wife. I think like back in the day, that was like a euphemism for a new child entering the family. Oh, Frank's out in the woodshed, whittling another chair. Whittling a chair. Whittling a spoon. But actually, I'm related to the guy who invented the chair. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. James Fitz. He's actually on my dad's side, dad's side, all the way up. And actually, we're all James Fitz all the way up. All on my dad's side of the guy who invented the chair. Yeah. So I'm not just James Fitz. I'm James Fitz, the 500,398th. But I don't write that out on like my checks or anything. And people don't know Roman numerals that high. They think that's my last name instead of Fitz. I don't even know Roman numerals that high. It's my own name. Anyway, I was sitting in a chair the other night, trying to watch the sunset. Yeah, that's kind of a good thing to do. But this chair wasn't a great chair. It broke on me. Yeah, it broke when I sat down on it. I felt it collapse. Not good for my ego. Yeah. I'm going to blame the chair. I think it was a bad chair, really. Yeah. I'm not ready to accept that level of responsibility. I can't go analyzing every chair I sit on. I'm going to say this was a bad chair, It wasn't really even a chair at all. Just a pile of sticks masquerading as a chair. Waiting for some hapless rube to stumble upon its clever ruse. And I did. I sat on that chair and I felt it collapse. It was on its last legs. I didn't even know it. I felt its legs give out, and all of a sudden my legs were doing a lot more of the work. I was like, I'll give this chair one last sunset, see it off on a good note. But one of the things I learned about the sunset, long. Long, the sunset. When does it really even end? Is it when the sun crosses the horizon? Well, that's too early. That's kind of like the beginning, really. Is it when you see the first star in the sky? For me, it's when I gotta go to the bathroom.